Hey everyone, it is Elsa932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Just say hello. Just let me know you're visiting. Let me know you're here. You can say hello in the chat or you can say hello by hitting that like, which just lets me know you've been here and you do like the content. So, welcome on in. I am y'all. I had a long day today, but I said I gotta come and give this unsolicited advice. So I didn't have any submissions through my Instagram. And if you ever have something you wish for us to give our unsolicited advice to, please just send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram handle is there on the screen. And I am going to, of course, get to it. We did it last time. Hey, Moon Dust Angel, glad to have you here. Glad you are here. Yes, I'm having a nice evening. I just, got home an hour ago from work. So I said, okay, okay. And it's a busy week. I have a graduating senior in high school. I have a graduating college student. It is a busy week. It's been a busy season. Let me put it that way. It has been a a busy season. But hey, it's a wonderful kind of busy. Okay? It's a wonderful kind of busy to have graduating from high school and graduating from college. What time is it here? It is 5:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm on the East Coast of the US of A. So, y'all, let's get into it. We have a few great ones for you today. I say we. I always include you guys in it. I have a few great ones for you today for us. And we get mild and then we get spicy to the end. So, what I consider mild and certainly what I consider spicy. So, make sure you hit that like. Hey, Munira, glad to have you here. And we always say hello to everyone in the chat. And if you see a chat there on the screen, right there, StreamYard is trying something out. So, hey, let's see what the comments look like on the screen, but I will still highlight them. So let's get to the first one. It's going to be an interesting show. Definitely interesting. So the first one is my husband thinks it's a crime that his best friend bought me boots for my birthday. Need advice. So this is a 26-year-old female. Her husband is a 29-year-old man, and the friend is a 29-year-old man. Okay. So she goes on to say, my husband's best friend was sort of been adopted into our household after breaking up with his partner 4 months ago. We've always been extremely respectful of emotional and physical boundaries. The only thing that might have been a bit cozy was that I already cooked for everyone and I felt natural to extend, him into that, I guess, cooking. Friday was my birthday. His mate got me new boots. I didn't realize it at the time, but it would have cost close to $600, which is a lot. But considering the context, months of going out of my way to make sure this man who is important to my husband didn't go down. I already had an 8-year-old pair of the exact same boot, and he would comment on them being worn out. God forbid he wanted a meaningful way to say thank you. I didn't even realize I wasn't supposed to be happy and grateful until the tension. When my husband and I went to bed, no, when I went to bed, I left them downstairs, and it was probably the most insane blow up I've overheard on my birthday. Now I'm stuck between trying to defend this guy from my husband and not looking like I'm siding with his mate while he has a warped idea of the situation. I've known them both for 6 years, and this feels like somehow the breaking point. Is it so stupid I could cry? Y'all, what do you think about this? His friend, his best friend, who I guess when she said adopted into the household, young lady, I have questions. The friend, is he living with y'all since the breakup? That's what I'm guessing. For you to open up your home, wonderful. You can be that supportive. Does he have an expiration date? Does he have a date he has to move out by? Because for me, I'm not moving you in or helping a friend like that unless I know exactly when you're moving out. Because what we're not going to do is do, not going to do evictions on friends. So my question is this wild? That's her question. Is this wild? The friend saw that she had a worn out set of boots. She's been cooking, cleaning, the friend staying at the house. We don't know what else is involved. And as a thank you, he bought a $600 pair of boots for her. Now, this is what it is. Hey, Samantha, glad to have you here. So the husband's friend, who they've kind of adopted because he is broken up with his girlfriend, bought the lady $600 pair of boots. So what, the husband had a blow up on his friend after the wife went to bed, but she overheard it. So we have the first question from Moondust Angel. The question is, why was the friend moved in the first place? Did he not have a place to go? Maybe not. We don't know. Munira says the gift was okay and her boyfriend overdid it. She cooked for him for a long time and the gift was a thank you. I do see that. I do kind of agree with that. I want to know what else is going on. In my opinion, it's not the money or her husband. So it's not the money of her husband. So he should be silent. It's just a gift. If he's reading more into it, that says more about him than it does anyone else in the situation. And I could agree with you with that Moondust Angel because I would ask my friend first. I would have to, hey, you're giving my wife a gift that's over $600. Technically, the way taxes go now, anything above $600 got to be declared. So you are giving my wife a gift that is so high in price, it has to be declared. But I wouldn't have gone after the friend. What I would have said is, hey, this is wonderful. This is a generous gift. But guess what? Could you just keep the money and save it for you moving out and getting your own place? I don't feel comfortable taking this knowing that you are in need. Now, that is the gentle way to say it. That is the gentle way she could say it. But other than that, I don't know. Moondust Angel said maybe it's not the gift. Maybe he's just obsessed because he couldn't afford the gift himself. It could be it. But maybe I cannot afford the gift because I got to support my friend too. My friend's living with us. He in the house with us. I got to support the household. But I would have said, hey, this is $600. I don't know where they're living, but it certainly could be half of the rent. What we were talking about another time about rent in certain places and a nice place. This could be half the rent of a nice studio wherever they're living instead of buying it for boots. And I would still say I'm great. No, she was not offended by the gift. She was actually happy to receive the gift, but she said in the statement she didn't realize she should not have been happy. I think it's because of her husband's reaction to it. Would you have a friend of your husband living in your house if he fell on hard times? Now, hey K Sharp, welcome on in. Hey, high vibes. I will answer that Moondust Angel. What we're talking about is this lady received $600 pair of boots from her husband's friend. The friend is living with them. He's on hard times and they are helping him out. And as a thank you, he on his friend's wife's birthday, he bought her a replacement for the same boot she had. It was close to $600 and he gave her as a gift. She loved it. But after she went to bed, the husband had a blow up with his friend. That's for K Sharp and High Vibe to catch them all up. So would you have a friend of your husband living in your house if they fell on hard times? Let me answer this quite honestly. I have had my husband's brothers, just two out of the clutch of brothers. I say that because he has a lot of brothers. Have I had a friend? Yes. I have set boundaries. I have set, things. And it was for a friend who was trying to escape a DV situation. It was like an emergency situation. So she was, unfortunately had to flee. And I was one of the few friends this boyfriend did not know where they lived. So but it was a matter of one, he ain't never gonna know because you gonna turn off your location before you come to my house. But two, before you enter here, when are you leaving? And we need it in writing. But I have had that. I have helped. I have no problem with helping, but we gotta have a plan. You ain't coming and just laying. You gotta have a plan. High Vibe said, "Oh no, that's a gift for a husband to give." Exactly. What I did say is I would have given it back to him and say, "Hey, maybe you need to save this money to get your own place." To get your own place. Did you give her a receipt for the boots? I would have taken them back. Would you keep the money, K Sharp? Would we keep the money? Okay, so if we're going to return the boot, are we going to keep the money or are we going to give the money back to the friend? Oh, did he give her a receipt? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Would you, if I took it back to the store, would I keep the money? I probably wouldn't. Because if it's a friend, even if it's my friend and there are hard times, I would feel some kind of way you buying me an expensive gift. Because it got to be expensive because you ain't living on your own, you're living with us. So it has to be more than you could really afford. Husband's blow up seems so overreactionary. Does he think his friend is coming on to his wife? We don't know. We don't know if the husband thinks it seems like it, or it seems as Moon Dust Angel said, like maybe the husband is feeling a little inadequate, that he couldn't afford. But he couldn't afford because guess what? The husband's supporting this whole household. If you got $600 for boots, what's the problem with putting a deposit on your own place? Exactly. But we don't know how he got these boots, okay? We are law abiding citizens. And so, as such, we think that he used money and bought this at a legitimate store, okay? That's what we're thinking. And I think that's what the husband's thinking and the wife is thinking. But we don't know if those shoes fell off the truck or not. If y'all understand me, you understand me. The money should be used to help him get a place. Exactly. They said he had a breakup, and he had a breakup with his partner 4 months ago. So has he been living with y'all for 4 months? But she said she's been cooking and everything, and including the friend in the cooking, because he's had a hard time. She's just trying to be a supportive spouse. She's like, hey, this is my husband's friend. It doesn't matter in her tone of writing. It seemed like it didn't matter either way, whether the friend is there or not. She doesn't have any leanings towards the friend, but she just didn't understand her husband's reaction. And I guess because she may see the friend as completely platonic, but she just couldn't see and understand the husband's reaction to it. But now it's kind of tainting the way the gift is looking to her. Maybe the husband is secretly nervous because he provides for the house, and maybe he feels inadequate because he thinks she might be judging him behind his back for not doing it. Could be, but hey, even if she's judging you behind your back, your friend ain't got a place. He's staying at your place. What does that say about your girl if she's really crushing on a man that ain't even got their own place? I'm saying that, being facetious, because we know people have, done real strange things with real strange situations, okay? But the husband is jealous of his friend. Maybe he may be jealous of the gift, or maybe even if the gift wasn't 600, jealous of such a thoughtful gift. Because even if this shoe was 100, even if it was $50, it was a shoe that, the husband had said many times it was run down. She needed a replacement for it. And maybe he didn't even look for it. Maybe the husband could afford it and didn't even think to replace it. And that probably is the issue. I agree the gift is extreme, but it just seems like there has to be a better way to handle the matter on the husband's part. I agree with Moondust Angel's latest comment. Maybe she just thinks the guy is being appreciative and doesn't understand the scope of the situation. I think so, Moondust Angel, as I guess Samantha is also agreeing with you. K Sharp said the wife may like him, but he should not feel intimidated. Exactly. Yes, it is jealousy is at play. Y'all, thank you so much. If you have any other unsolicited advice for this young lady, please leave it in the comments. For me, young lady, have a conversation with your husband, and then y'all could certainly make a decision as to what to do. I would say take back the boots, give the $600 back, because clearly the friend needs it in order to get a deposit for his own place. But I'm hoping that this doesn't break up a whole friendship and relationship. And maybe y'all need to simply talk, because your husband blowing up doesn't leave room for his friend to explain, like, why did you choose this gift? What was your thought process? And once you know his thought process, will tell you, the husband, whether you need to keep him as a friend or not. But y'all, let me know in your comments below, and let's go to the next one. So the next one is about, I don't know if I should change or keep the baby's name after finding my husband's affair. This is a 26-year-old female, and her husband is a 29-year-old male. I'm not exactly sure if this falls in line with relationship advice, but I don't know, about these things. Apologies if I'm out of left field. So I'm expecting my second baby this summer. I had a name I absolutely love picked out. It's been a name I've had in mind since having my first child, who is now 3. It has a perfect middle name to go with it. My toddler even calls the baby by this name while the baby's in the belly. Now, I have recently found explicit messages between my husband and a coworker of his that has made my life implode. For starters, I don't even know if I'll even be staying with my husband, despite them both claiming it was never physical and that he has no love for her. The issue is that her name happens to be the same name I've been wanting to give my daughter. I've had no other name in mind because to me, I found the perfect name. So do I have this name taken from me? Like, so much in my life right now? Or can my daughter keep it? I tell myself to be strong and that this was her name before I even knew about this affair, or even before the affair started, and not let it be taken away. But on the other hand, will I regret it? And will I only be triggered by this name from this point on? Wow. That is, a little shooketh. So she had a name all picked out for her baby. All picked out. Come to find out, the husband been having an affair with someone with this name. Now, lady, let me ask you this. This name that you had picked out, I have questions. This name that you had picked out, was it suggested by your husband? Hey, AK3, F350, glad to have you here. It is tough. Was this name suggested by your husband? Because that would be my thing. Was it a name you purely came up with, or was he been slowly suggesting this kind of name on the side? I don't know. Any kind of cheating, emotional, otherwise, is still cheating. It really doesn't matter if he loved her or not. If he's sending explicit messages, it sends a message you're not enough for him. See, that's my thing. Her priority seems a little off to me. She wants enough to keep the name for the baby. She's saying she may walk away from the husband, but she's more concerned, it seems, with the baby's name, rather than the violation of trust by the husband. It's more like, you violate my trust with that name. It seemed like the violation of trust is on the side. She said she may not stay. She did say that. She said she may not stay. But I don't know. If the name was suggested by the husband, he would be emulating Adam Levine from Maroon 5, who did the same to his wife. Yes, I remember that. Ooh, and if y'all are ever part of LSIT Unscripted, last Friday, we had a plethora of stuff, and we talked about music. And yes, I do know what you're talking about with Adam Levine. It's better to change the name to something else to avoid being annoyed in the future. I do agree, Munira. I agree. I don't want to be annoyed by my child's name, because, it ain't, the child may look like their dad or whatever, and you may find, annoying in her instance. But now it's the name. Every time you hear that name, change the name, sis. Sis Samantha, your sister Samantha is speaking. She said, change the name, sis. You already answered your own question by wondering if you'll be triggered. Keep your future beautiful baby out of this. Right. I agree with you. I think you should change the name. Change it. And I wouldn't even make it anything even close. Not even the same alphabet. I'm that wild. I'm curious, did you and your husband agree on the names of your children? Was it easy for you to decide on? I don't know what goes into choosing a name. I have no children. Now, okay, see, Moondust Angel always comes with these hard-hitting questions, and I love it. So I've had this similar situation. I have two boys. They're 5 years apart. I spread it out because I knew I couldn't afford college for two at the same time. That was just me. And, I needed to regain my body after, giving birth to the first one. So what happened was, in the second grade, my eldest had, how can we say it, a reportable incident in the school where a child, another child in his class, how can I want to put it very mildly for YouTube. Another child in the class um, did something to my son. Okay. Now, I was pregnant with my younger child, and that was the name I had planned all along. And now I'm like, I cannot allow, myself to keep that name because my eldest associates that name with someone who did him wrong, if y'all catch my drift. So certainly I did change the name. I still stayed in the letter of the alphabet. I still did stay in the letter of the alphabet, but I did not keep that name, not even as a middle name. I took a longer name. It was a short name. So it was, for me, I was like, I can't necessarily, I felt I would be re-traumatizing my son by having his younger brother, have that name, if you understand me. So that's why I also took this story. And Moon Dust Angel, you caught me. You caught me. You definitely caught me with this story, that it did strike very close to home for me. So the naming of a child, some people, like my family, has a middle name for men that is passed down. My family also has, like, certain letters of the name are passed down. And, we have basically, we have a family crest. We have a family crest kind of thing. So it kind of keeps the names. I also, and, my children are with my first husband. I also didn't want to go too far down the alphabet. So in my wild, wicked 20s of dating, and anyone who wanted to be real serious and wanted to get married, I'm like, your last name is too far down the alphabet. I was that bad. I did not want to be on the tail end. It's like, ooh, oh, your name is Smith. I can't marry a Smith. That's way too far. That's way too far. I gotta wait for everybody else's name to be called before mine. So it turns out I married someone with the same last initial, and that's who I had my kids with. So that was really funny for me because, the kids would call me Mrs. and the last initial. So even when I got divorced, it was basically the same last initial for me anyway, which is very interesting in life. Hey, to go to Africa, so glad to have you here with us. We only just wrapping up our second request. The request is, hey, her husband's having an affair with a lady, and the name of the lady is the same name she had been planning all this time to give her baby. And Samantha and the chat is kind of like, girl, change that name. Change the name. You ain't got to keep that name. That name ain't got to be in your house and in your life forever. Now, the thing is, she says she may leave the husband, but she may not. That's my question. Why is the name more of an issue? The name is more of an issue for her than the actual husband having an affair. It's like, yeah, he's having an affair. I may not stay with him. But by the way, do you know the lady's name is da 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 da? It seems more weight on the name than on the affair. Hey, Felicia H. No, you have not missed the spicy one. Spice is always at the end to let everybody get in, and have a seat. It's always at the end. We're only finishing up the second one. So y'all, if you have any advice for this lady, should she keep the baby's name since it's the same name as the woman her husband is having an affair with, or should she change the name to something else? And as Moondust Angel asked, what made you, or how did you choose the name of your child? She's just curious as to how different people choose different names. As I said, my family passes down a middle name to the men in the family. For the ladies, usually we pick up a name that is, certain meaning in the family. We all have middle names. We all have middle names, but the men have more of a structure with it. And since I have two boys, we had to kind of jostle it. So one has the maiden last name as his middle name, and one has the traditional middle name of the men of the family. So y'all, please put it down in the comments. Let us know. Let us get to know each other a little bit more. So let's go on to the third one. And thank you, Samantha, for letting us know it's getting spicy. Okay, so the third one, let me pull my notes up right now so I can read it. This 29-year-old male says, I think my girlfriend, 27-year-old female, is cheating on me with her guy best friend. I feel like the background character in my own life. I don't even know where to start. It feels less like a relationship issue and more like the tragic opening of a montage of a sad indie movie. My girlfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years. She's beautiful, smart, funny, basically everything I'd want. Meanwhile, I look like the before photo at the gym. I'm sorry. That's exactly what he says. I look like the before photo in a gym. Lately, things have been different, colder. Like I'm a piece of furniture she used to love, but now walks around without noticing. The main thing, her guy best friend. We'll call him Brad because, of course, his name isn't Brad. He has been around more lately. They text all the time. I used to get good morning texts, but now Brad does. She laughs at his jokes. It's like he's the second coming of George Carlin. And I'm like the cashier at the CVS asking if she wants a receipt. Last week, she called him to fix the sink. I literally have my own toolbox. I just didn't know she needed help. Or maybe she knew I'd mess it up somehow. I even suggested that we all hang out together, and she said, that would be weird. Weird? Like I'm a stray cat trying to force my way into the family photo. So y'all, he was very descriptive. He was very descriptive. Very descriptive. Felicia loves the spice. So he feels like, he tells us, y'all know I like the numbers and I like the description. Because he's like, he looks like the before photo in the gym. Now, we all know what the before photo in the gym look like. At least I do. I know what it is. Thank you, Felicia. Please hit the like. There are 14 people here. I love having y'all here. Thank you for being here. So he said he looks like the before photo at the gym. That means we haven't started working out, or the workouts haven't been looking, the same. Hey, actually, Aubrey, glad to have you here. So he's like, the male best friend seems like he's encroaching on my time with my girl. She's treating me like I'm used old furniture that she's just walking around. He's just like, she didn't even call me when she needed something. I literally have my own toolbox. Now, unless the friend is a literal plumber, we don't know his skill set. And why is she keeping the friend away from you? Why is it weird for y'all to hang out? Is it really a friend? Moondust Angel says, I have a male best friend and a female best friend, and my boyfriend hangs out with my male best friend sometimes, and I think it's a good thing. This does sound like cheating. If so, she's disgusting. Yes, she is. She's giving us a bad rep who have legitimate platonic friends. I keep telling y'all, I grew up around these guys. We're all platonic friends. We from the Pampers to adulthood. We all platonic. I absolutely think she's being unfaithful, and I'm really sorry this is happening to you. Right. Now, here's the thing. Do not stop at the before photo in the gym. Okay? Do not stop at the before photo in the gym. Keep on going with the gym. Keep on taking your health seriously. He should leave her and accept that his best friend is her new boyfriend. It's not his best friend. It's her best friend. Yes, her best friend is... She cheating. Shake my head. High vibe say she cheating. I think so, because if it's my best friend, you should be able to come by and say hi, and we can hang out. We can hang out. She has made Brad a priority while the boyfriend is yesterday's news. He should see if any more is going on to ease any worries if there's more to break up. Right. I don't know how he see if there's more. I guess see if Brad is coming over, too much, too often. I don't know, but I would say chalk it up to the game and move on and keep the gym membership. Personally, for me, it looks mean nothing because he could look gorgeous and she would still cheat. Yes, it does not mean that he. I'm sorry if I did sound mean, but when he describes himself as the before photo in the gym, I think he's describing himself as. I think his insecurity is coming out. I think his lack of self-confidence is coming out. His self-esteem, is a little bit lower. So I think even though he piles it up with humor in this request for advice, I think I'm kind of hearing that he's not feeling his best. Hey, Just Rhonda 01, welcome on in. Y'all, please go visit Just Rhonda's channel. She covers, your housewives, your married twos, and your love and marriages, and she gives great content. Thanks for coming by, Rhonda. We're talking about this guy feels that his woman's best friend is her boyfriend. Maybe he's got low self-esteem, and instead of helping him deal with this, the woman has chosen to cheat, which will further fracture his self-image. Yes, it would. It would totally fracture his self-image. And I feel really bad for him. Really, really bad. It's not something that would really, really help in the relationship at all. At all. So y'all, whatever your comments or unsolicited advice is for this man, I'm telling him, keep on going to the gym, keep on doing what you need to do. Okay? He said he looks like the before picture at the gym. Keep on with the gym, keep doing you, doing what's best for your health and your self-image, and the person for you is going to come around. Leave them tools and that tool belt for someone who will appreciate it. Yes, Just Rhonda, it does sound familiar. So y'all, while y'all are hitting that like and making sure y'all are subscribed, let me go grab the next one. So the next one, my husband is mad that I'm going on a trip with my guy best friend who is gay. I'm really good friends with a guy who just happened to be gay, and we've gone on one trip together, and my husband didn't really like it and was quiet for weeks until he got over it. I explained to him that my friend is gay and only into men, but also lives with his partner. I tried to explain, but there's nothing to worry about. He's just my good friend and almost like a girlfriend. I should also add, we've always had our own rooms. We've never roomed together. When I asked my husband why he doesn't like it, he really just doesn't go into detail. Says he doesn't like it and not okay with it. Keep in mind, my husband has always been very jealous and clingy, and he is also a lot younger than me. Now, this is a 44-year-old female, and the husband is a 38-year-old male. I'm going away in a few weeks with my gay best friend is going, and I just mentioned to my husband, and he immediately shut it down. Also, I was supposed to go on a trip with my friend last year. I didn't because it was in Vegas, and I knew my husband would lose his mind. I'm trying to meet my husband in the middle, but I don't think it's fair I'm being punished just because he's not okay with me going away with my best friend. Am I being considerate of his feelings? Am I being considerate of his feelings? So, what is the rules for friend trips? What's the rules when you're married with friend trips? I take friend trips. Am I wrong? I mean, daggone it. I don't take a lot of friends. I think I've taken a few friend trips. I've taken a few trips that friends come with me on. Now, if it's another lady, another married woman or whatever, we'll be in the same room. But, I have in the past, in my first marriage, I did have, many male best friends that are in the Rainbow Coalition and never had a problem. We've gone on trips, but we didn't room together. Yeah, we didn't room together. But I just don't understand, young lady. First of all, I need to know exactly what the That can't just be 44 to 38. That's a 6-year difference. When you said your husband was a lot younger than you, is 6 years a lot younger? Is 6 years a lot younger? Y'all let me know, because I don't think 6 years is a lot younger. Maybe he's a lot younger in his thoughts, but he seems to be a little bit older. Maybe we should ask him why he's so insecure and work on possibly helping him ease the fears he may have. I mean, has he been hanging out with you and your friend? I would love to hear about the reason her husband is unhappy. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't either. He sounds controlling, but I can see why he's uncomfortable with them rooming together. Well, she says she has no problem with that they don't room together. And I find that quite interesting. Why does his age matter anyway? What we should be doing is figuring out why he's upset, trying to get him over it. Well, I just wanted to know, when she said significantly younger, what it does tell me is in tone. So she thinks 6 years is significant, and I don't. So I'm thinking, is she also exaggerating other parts of her statement? Just Rhonda said, not in my house. Husband is beyond clingy. He wants her to himself all the time. He doesn't trust himself, so he has no trust in her. So here's my question with that, K Sharp and the rest of the chat. Why won't the husband go along? Why won't the husband go on this trip? Why not include the husband in these travels? My gay friend and I could enjoy watching men together. Girl, to go to Africa, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied, because I'll be hanging out with mine. We be talking. We talk about everybody. It don't matter if it's a guy or gal, animals crossing the street. We don't care. It will be whatever we see when we are people watching. It is a good time. It is a good time. 6 years is not an age gap, in my opinion. I agree with you, K Sharp. That's why I looked at the age gap when she said significant. I'm expecting 10 years. And for me, even 12 years will be significant. But 6, I'm like, sis, are you exaggerating how he feels? Stories like this always make me thank God that I'm single. LOL, did he show signs of this insecurity prior to marriage? Right. How was his interaction with this best friend? Because if this is a best friend, they've always been your best friend. This better not be a new best friend. This had to be a best friend that was around while you were dating him. To go to Africa, my gay friend and I do the same thing. And it don't even have to be my gay friend. My friends and I, we do the same thing. And I'm sure people talk about me too with their friends when they see me go by. Husband maybe don't believe that the friend is gay. Ooh, Munira? Maybe. Because it may, she says it's a gay male, it may be very, masculine presenting. May not be very, flamboyant, and the husband may not believe it. But what's going to ease that worry is interacting with the friend, having conversation with the friend, maybe going on one of these trips with the friend. She was wise enough to say Vegas ain't it. We can't go to Vegas. She couldn't go to Vegas with another friend. So bring the husband with other trips. I'm just saying. This is wrong to say, but why is he insecure about a guy who's gay and he has no interest in his wife in that way? Here's my thing. I don't think the man has an interest. Yes, it can be a lot of fun to go to Africa. I don't think he has an interest in, maybe, and y'all hear me out, it may be that the friend wouldn't hold his wife accountable. Maybe he don't trust the wife. Okay? Maybe he's thinking the best friend ain't going to look out for her like he would. Maybe, the friend is going to allow her to do some wild things while they're on vacation that he may not be comfortable with his wife doing. That's just me throwing something out. He may be uncomfortable being around a gay man. It could be. Because she did say, I think she said, hang out, but he doesn't. So he may be uncomfortable. So he has some other issues there that, lady, he had to have before you got married to him. What were his interactions like with this friend before y'all got married? You have to know, you have to certainly find out what's going on. Can your husband interact with your friends? That is a legitimate thing and a legitimate concern. I don't know. I think gay people are so much fun to be with. I don't know many, but those I know have a lot of fun on vacation. Girl, there are a lot of fun otherwise. I have not met, many that I just don't like or have, as you said, a great time with, a good kiki with. Again, not saying that's all they are. They are not a monolith, but but the thing is, the husband has to loosen up, get to know her friend, even watch their interactions. And as I said, maybe the husband doesn't trust the friend. Maybe the husband doesn't think that the friend is going to hold his wife accountable, or that the best friend is not going to, protect his wife as he would if he's on a trip. But then, young man, you need to go with your wife on the trip. Okay? You need to go with your wife on this trip, or on at least a few trips. And I hope you're not a Debbie Downer. Because don't come with me on a trip to say you will have my back or whatever. We could go on a trip and you coming and you a Debbie Downer and can't keep up. That I cannot stand. Cannot stand. How do we feel about clingy people? Do we mind them, or is there a limit to how much they can touch and hold us? I'm not sure. Clingy could be many things. This man could be clingy. No indication that it's physical. Physical clingy, I don't like. I don't like at all. Don't be physically clingy. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't. I need some space. I need some whatever. It can't be clingy constantly. We can hold hands in public or not. It don't matter. My husband, he understands me. My husband is more, he wants to hold hands in public and walk and hug or whatever, but he knows me and understands, hey, let me initiate, because sometimes I ain't in the mood or my mind ain't even on it. He will be like, honey, we didn't hold hands when we were walking. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. I didn't even notice. That's just me. That's just me. The best friend may not be a good influence on her. Maybe, I have some friends like that are not a good influence on me. The husband is jealous, and he probably likes to stay at home and eat all day. So we're trying to say he's the before picture that the previous responder was talking about. That may be it. That may be the link to the two stories. That maybe this is him talking about Brad, or the lady talking about Brad. When I was younger, I was usually attracted to gay men who wanted to go hang out with me I whenever or wherever I went. Yeah, me too. But I used to live in New York. My college wasn't far from the village, and I mean that was my hangout spot. And two, I felt very safe. All of my gay friends, certainly were amazing. I never had a care in the world. I never had to worry about anybody not having my back. It's absolutely an amazing thing. Maybe he's terrified that the gay friend might start to fancy him, maybe make a move. Is he terrified? I don't know. But and that's something that it doesn't usually happen. But I will go with you, Munda Stage, or maybe y'all hear me out. Maybe the friend has made a pass at him in the past, and that made him uncomfortable. Let's give him, but that's not usually the case. Unless he says this is what happened, it's not usually the case. So I don't know. I can see where this friend may not be a good influence. Maybe when she comes back up from these trips, there's so much, baggage she's carrying. It's not a fun time. So again, why are we also going on these vacations without our husband? It seems to me she said at least two vacations. She said Vegas and this one. Why are we going on all these vacations without our husband? If someone made a move on me, I would just find it flattering. I wouldn't do anything about it. I just feel nice. I can't deny that. Yes, I would certainly find it flattering. I'd say, ha ha ha, that is so cute. That's great. I still got it. And I would leave it alone. Now, if they're pushy, then we have to have a little come into Jesus moment. We have to have a little come into Jesus conversation ourselves. And then maybe I take it to my spouse. But we could kind of handle it ourselves. So my thing is totally, young lady, find out why this is an issue for your husband. And husband, you need to open up and tell her. You need to tell her exactly why you have an issue with this particular friend. But I'm thinking it's more you, lady. I'm thinking he has an issue with you, because all you said is you are the common denominator in these trips. It was the gay best friend, and there was another friend from Vegas. You are the common denominator, lady. Okay? Let me be brutally honest and keep you in check on makeup, clothes, etc. Okay. Hey, Trey Mac, glad to have you here. What it do? What it do? Trey Mack, the first story was actually, was it the first? We had a story specially made for you. If you want to rewind back about a friend, her husband's friend bought her $600 pair of boots as a thank you for allowing him to kind of, I guess, live with them for a few months while he got his act together from a breakup. Just a little inside joke. What would you do if someone does make a move on you, don't know what to do? I've been in a situation like that before. I just end up panicking and do nothing. For me, panic and do nothing ain't an option. Because for me, I've seen what doing nothing can do. People may see your silence as accepting. So I'll be like, ha ha ha, I'll put it off as a joke at first. And if they're like, no, it ain't a joke, like, okay, you have to be joking. I ain't laughing right now. You need to move on. Yeah, for me, you have to be clear. You need to move on. I'm in a committed relationship. Thank you very much. Just be gentle at first. But if they ain't listening, then you gotta be real firm and be like, no, this ain't where it's happening. This ain't happening. Because you know what? I ain't happening. So move it along or get moved along. But that's just, again, that is just my Brownsville side coming out. Just be like, oh, I'm flattered. Thank you very much. But I am clearly not interested. But you know what? You will certainly find someone who is, and I wish you all the best on your journey in love. That's it. That's if you want to be polite. That's my way of being polite. Y'all, please leave it in the comments below. I'm telling you, girl, find out why your husband don't want you taking these trips with your gay male best friend. Why does he like it? And why doesn't he like you going on trips with your friends? Because it seems to me you don't know how to behave on these trips. And he just was like, I don't like it. And you're staying home. He didn't say she's staying home, but she has made the decision to stay home. If y'all have any other comments for her, please leave it below. And as Moon Dust Angel has another question, what would you do if someone makes a move and you don't know what to do in the moment? Tremax said there's nothing wrong with that, but I can see how it could get sticky. Yes, we certainly can see. So let's move on to, I believe it is, yes. Oh, we're getting spicier and spicier with each tale. Says my girlfriend, 22-year-old female, cheated on me, a 26-year-old male, with a coworker and is now pregnant. How do I start healing and moving forward? Hey everyone, I'm a 26-year-old male that's in a relationship with my girlfriend for almost a year. Things are going really well between us until she got a new job a couple of months ago. Because of our new schedule, we started only seeing each other about once a week. I didn't think much of it at the time and tried to be supportive. But recently, I found out she cheated on me with one of her coworkers. Now she's pregnant. I'm completely heartbroken and confused. I genuinely loved her, and my life revolved around her. I thought we were building something real together. Now I feel so lost. I know I can't stay with her after this, but it still hurts so much. I'm struggling to figure out what to do next and how to move on from someone I cared so deeply about. Any advice from this perspective of those who have gone through something similar would really mean a lot right now. So the girlfriend cheated on him and now she is pregnant. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. The girlfriend cheated and now she's pregnant. Here's a few cues for me. Okay. They've been together for almost a year. I need to know, sir, exactly the number that's almost here. It could be 8 months. It could be 9 months. It could be 10 months, but it ain't 12. It's almost a year. Okay. But you said that she started a new job a couple of months ago. So 2 months ago, she is already cheating with a coworker, and the coworker may be the pappy. That's real quick for me. Moondust Angel says, watch sappy movies, eat all the ice cream in the world, cry your eyes out, and find someone who deserves to have you in their life, who will treat you better. Is he certain he's not the father? We don't know. He got to wait. He got to see. And I'm wondering, is it is it because you in a committed relationship, we ain't talking about protection? Is it because you're in a committed relationship, you thinking we ain't using protection? What are we doing here? Young lady, why is it a possibility After 2 months on a job, you may be pregnant for a coworker. Or is he exaggerating? Did she really cheat? We have no evidence. He just thinks she cheated. Okay? He just thinks she cheated. Don't allow the situation to further dictate what you do with your life. You deserve better. And it's only been a year. At least it wasn't many years. Exactly. At least he ain't 20 years down the road. What did Ye say? 18 years, 18 years of child support, and then he found out the kid wasn't his. That's just some lyrics, y'all. Hey, Miss Boogie Down. AL said in chat, exactly. She's already been 304 hopping. Exactly. Couple months? You're on a job a couple months. You already find someone. You already know that they like you and you like them. And y'all already knocking the boots? What are we doing after a couple months? It was not her first time cheating on him. He needs to break up. Yes, he does. He needs to break up and get himself gone to healing. Y'all, because the thing is, if she's doing it this quickly, I'm wondering if she knew the man. He said she moved the job a couple months. Maybe this man that she cheated with is the reason why she got this new job and she's just getting closer to him. Because it seems real wild to me that only after a couple of months, you're already knocking the boots enough for you to now know you expecting. Also, were they really dating, or did he think they were Moon Dust Angel? We always talk about the Delulu. We always talk about the Delulu of the ladies. You know how men always say, oh, she thought she was my girl, but I never actually said she was my girlfriend. In this instance, is she really your girlfriend, sir? Does she know she was your girlfriend? That y'all in a committed relationship and y'all only see each other once a week? Good question, Munira said as well. Hey, Mimi, glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, Mimi. Mimi, he with the girl for almost a year. We don't know if it's 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, but it's almost a year. Okay. And she done went to a new job after 2 months. She now pregnant and she already cheated with him, cheated on him with a coworker at this new job. I don't think it's at the new job. I'm going to be okay. I can't go after my sister like that. I can't go after her like that. I'm going to say it ain't a new job. Either it ain't a new job or it ain't a new man. And if it's a new man at the new job, she done knew that man before 2 months. I am not thinking she just rolling over. Okay, I'm not thinking she just rolling over with a new man on the new job after she's been with you for about a year. But as Moon Dust Angel say, are y'all really in a committed relationship? Or does she think y'all just hanging? Y'all just hanging out together? What is it? Because I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. He's being very vague with the time. I don't know. Mimi said been cheating. See, you and Miss Boogie Down and I think she been cheating. She has popped up right now with somebody else been cheating. She just moved to this new job to be closer to the man that what Mimi says she been cheating with. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to think she just hopped aboard just because she got this new job and it's been 2 months. She been cheating. That's what we're saying. So, sir, how do you get over it? We already said, watch, have a good cry out. There's nothing wrong with your emotions. Have a good cry, mourn the relationship, mourn what you could have had with her. Have a moment to go through all of the emotions of grieving a relationship because it's almost a year. But then you know what? Be thankful it's only been almost a year and not almost 20 years. And then you find out the kid ain't yours. But certainly make sure there's a paternity test before you sign anything. I don't know what state you're in, but make sure your paternity is solidified before you put on a birth certificate or you put on any documentation, sir, okay? And then you would find out if that kid is yours. You find out how to co-parent if the kid is certainly yours. But you could still not be in a relationship with her, even if the kid is yours. You have to decide because she been cheating. She been cheating. It seems like he needs to wait to find out if he is the father before deciding how to proceed. He may want to, but then you may be fully invested in her and her pregnancy and everything, and then find out. Now, are we waiting until birth, or are we doing those DNA tests before we give birth? He may not have proof that she was cheating. He may be paranoid. Okay, y'all know we usually have our advocate is usually here by now, but our advocate is not here today. And to go to Africa is here. He may be paranoid because he's only seeing her once a week. Now with a change in job, and he may be paranoid thinking she's cheating, and she's not. Okay? So what we have here is that it may be, his imagination as to what's going on. I'm having a little technical difficulty on my computer, but if we get cut off, I will certainly try to come back. I don't know what's going on with my computer. So, y'all, Trey Mack is saying she may be a professional cheater. She may be. She may very well be a professional cheater. Okay? She may be a cheater. She may be a professional cheater. And we don't know. We won't. We don't know. And I don't know if I've lost signal or if I'm still here, if y'all can, but we'll certainly see if I can. Can you hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I know my Wi-Fi did go down for a second, but can you hear me? I'm still moving in slow motion. Okay, you can hear me? Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I know they're working in my area, but so sorry about that. So we're back. So Trey is saying she's a professional cheater and true to the game. If he's the father, he should put himself on child support but still leave her. Okay, yep. I did get your comment. I did get your comment. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for letting me know I'm back. Thank you for letting me know I'm back. Sorry about that. I need to have a backup going at the same time. So y'all, let's get to the next one before they completely kick me out of this. Let me get to the next one real quick. Okay, this lady is saying that she saw a intimate tape of the boyfriend and his ex. Okay, said 22-year-old female saw a tape of my 37-year-old boyfriend and his ex. It wasn't intentionally on his phone. I saw it on his Google Drive from back in 2021. We have a child now, and I felt traumatized on what I saw, and I felt so disgusted. He is my first boyfriend, and I accepted his past, but seeing this is so traumatizing. I told him about him, and he told me it was from his past, and he's sorry he hasn't deleted those things. I don't know how to move on. It keeps on replaying in my mind. I want to forget it, but I just can't. I don't think I can look at my boyfriend at the same again. How can we move forward after seeing this? Y'all, how can we move forward? How can we move forward? Just Rhonda, you got it. 22 and 37. 22 and 37. We just had a kid, she said. Now I need age of that kid. I need to know what is just had a kid. Just had a kid could be a year ago, 2 months ago. What is just had a kid? So again, 22 and 37. She can't look at him the same. And man, why are we looking at the Google Drive? When is the last time he accessed that? Because if you had looked at it before, you would have seen when the last time he opened that folder was. That's what I would have liked. Why is he dating and, okay, impregnating a 22-year-old? I don't know, Trey Man. Again, when the lady said a large age gap and she was 6 years, now we could talk about a large age gap. Now we could talk about a large age gap. That raises red flags. I will be afraid that he has more and may have recorded me. To go to Africa, that is a legitimate concern. What if he is recording you and y'all, intimate moments now? Was it consenting? Does the ex know he got these videos? Again, y'all, as I said, this channel is not going to cover the case that is out in the media right now because there are several other channels covering it, and there are many others covering it better than I could ever hope to. But we will post stories like this that may have kernels associated with the case. So exactly, red flag. Why does he have these cameras? Why does he have these videos? What is he doing with it? He's certainly storing it. And what is his intention? And are there Google Drive folders with your name and your intimate moments? Here's my other question. How much did we look at? How much footage did we look at? Did we watch the whole tape? I'm going to assume it's more than one. Did we watch a whole tape? Did we see all that was going down? Did we look at it and say, he never tried that with me? Wait a minute. I didn't know he could do that. I've been missing out. Lady, what is the true intention with this? Okay? Mimi said she's probably on somebody's Google Drive. Let's hope that he ain't the one, Mimi. Let's hope he ain't the one. Let me know. How much did you watch? Did you watch all the footage? Because in my mind, all the footage, I'm putting it with the case. It may be several tapes. How much memory in the Google Drive are we talking about? How many megabytes, gigabytes? How many? What we working with? And did we see the skills and methods he was using with the ex? And are we like, Because what's the age of the ex? Is the ex your age too? Or is the ex a more mature woman and that's got your insecurities going on? Or is it that you saw your boyfriend in a compromising position because his ex had him in hand, okay? And maybe the ex was being called mistress in these videos, and that's why you can't look at him the same, because he ain't acting the same. He want to be all Billy bad with you, but then with this ex, he more demure and mindful. I'm just trying to figure out why you can't look at him the same. Because if he had some skills, or you should be excited to try, at least in my mind. 22 and having a baby. 22 is young for having a baby. Yes, with a 30-something-year-old man, definitely. Y'all know I carry on. Samantha, you know I carry on. So I'm wondering what's in the tape. You can have kids at an age, you just have to be mature enough to raise them properly. Exactly. Yes, I got questions. I may need to check the footage to get a complete assessment so I can give some good unsolicited advice. How about that? My IG is on the screen. So if you want to send me, totally fine. My husband and I could, you know, use it for research purposes. I'm going to disregard the age gap, and due to her young age, she's never sent a particular video to anyone beforehand. Why are you so stressed over that? What happened before you? Trey, I don't know that, I've always seen the 20 something share a little too much. To me, the 20 something share a little too much. So the fact that, I don't know, but she said this is her first boyfriend. I'm not saying this is her first experience, but she said this is her first boyfriend. Yes, Miss Boogie Down, we got some questions. I need to see the tape. She may have gotten an ick from the tape, but why? What about seeing, and this is just me, I'm interjecting myself here, young lady, I'm sorry. If I saw Mr. El Cid on a tape and I'm watching it, what would get me not looking at him the same other than you ain't the same like you was with me? Either you was better or you was worse. Maybe he learned a thing or two. Maybe it was an instructional video. More men are secretly recording intimate moments with women more frequently. With all of the advances in technology, it's easier to do these days. Yes, it is easy to do. And that's why people always kind of say, hey, if we're having this kind of social interaction, I do not give permission for this to be taped. So if you are taping this, understand what the laws are in your state. Understand, if you are taping this without my consent, you could be in real trouble. Real trouble. Because there's a lot of states that have, laws on the books about this kind of, corn, revenge corn. To go to Africa, you ain't never lied. That's why some of the ladies also tell us why they remain single. They don't want to be going through all these hoops, seeing if it's being televised, seeing if it's being filmed privately. Then your future woman gonna find it on your Google Drive. And see, maybe done said she may be on somebody's Google Drive, but she may be consenting. And all of a sudden it's on a Google Drive. All I gotta say is back in the day it was a tape. Okay, back in the day it was actual tapes with ribbon. So people can destroy footage. These days, it's in the cloud. And guess what? These clouds don't ever rain and disappear unless you lose a password or you don't pay for the memory and space. So young lady, I want to know what it is. They can have their cell phones or have things planted everywhere. Yes, they can. We know what happened with Kevin Hart, what he said was planted. Okay. So young lady, this is footage of his past. Okay. You said you were okay with his past, then be okay with his past. He is a grown man, certainly more grown than you in age. So please, this is footage from his ex. This is ex hanging around. It's given the sense of the ex is around and you're intimidated by what you saw, and maybe you can't live up to the hype that's in the tape. Or maybe he ain't living up to the hype that's in the tape, and you feeling like he don't love you, so he ain't putting his all like he did in the tape. Trey Mack says 22 and first boyfriend is screaming, naive, and easily manipulated. The more I think about this, the more I got questions for this 37-year-old. Yes. Where did they meet? Did we meet at the gym? Is this a is the gym called Club Shay Shay? Where's the gym? What are we doing? How do we meet to even hook up 37 to 22? Exactly. Fear has me out of them dating scene and these streets. Girl, Samantha, when I do get a level of membership, I'm going to tell you how to ease that fear. Unless you want to send me a DM, how I dated and navigated the world. Not saying it's foolproof, but certainly it is, it is something to do. She might not have known much about his story before she saw the movie. Right, true. But why is he holding it? Is it just with this one ex? Or is there a vault of, footage? He's 37, so he would be around the time when things were beginning to be saved on a cloud. So I'll give him that. It's not like he changed it from tape to a cloud, okay? But we need to say, we need to see, yes, we need to know where this 37-year-old man met this 22-year-old young lady, and it's her first boyfriend. We need to know how y'all met. But apart from that, you have a young child. You're probably, I'm going to say this, we don't know the age of the child, but I'm going to bring this as a possibility. You may be, it's sounding to me, this is not necessarily what it is. It sounded like you're in a postpartum situation where you had the baby. It's a very young baby. You may be stressed. You may be tired. You may be taking care of this child. He may help you, but it's certainly your hormones are in disarray. You went on the computer, you saw something you were curious about, and you opened it up. You opened it up. And now you saw the footage from back in the day, and the details of that file will tell you the history, will tell you when that file was saved, tell you when the file was last accessed, which if he is, we're gonna think he is a good man, Felicia. We're going, not the Felicia in the chat, but you, Felicia, who wrote this, we're gonna think he's a good man. And once you access it, if its history says he hadn't opened it since maybe before y'all met or early stages of a relationship, then have it be what it is. Have it be what it is. He could delete it, he could put it in a vault, whatever. But please understand, if it isn't an ex that is currently here and he's not currently cheating, you gotta let it go. I think maybe you may be stressed and experiencing a little bit of postpartum, but that's just a guess. Everything kind of feel, if it's your first boyfriend, you're 22, your first kid, I knew what I was feeling when I was 24 and having a first kid. All kinds of stuff kind of goes warp. But if it's an '01 movie and it ain't a yesterday or last week movie, or when you were having the kid movie, look in the history. The file will tell you. So Samantha and Trey are of the like minds today. Munira said the movie may not be as old as he said. It could be recent. Now, you see, Munira, I was trying to say he was a good man, Felicia. A good man, Munira. But now here you come saying it might not be as old as he said recent. Like maybe the couch in the scenes is the same couch at the house or at the ex's house, and it's a new couch. Is that what we're thinking? Okay. So the files, history, and details will tell you when it was created, when it was saved, and when it was last opened apart from yours. So look at the details first before we go off the deep end, even saying it's more recent or me saying he's a good man. So y'all, let's get to the last one. If you have any comments for her, please state it below. And let's get to the last one. Y'all know we like it spicy. This is the last one, okay? I went to look up something on my 23-year-old boyfriend's phone and typed CH. And Chatterbait came up. And then I saw his history of clicking various girls, including while at work. Personally, I have no issue with my partner watching porn. Okay? I don't mind if he is on cam sites. But cam sites like this just make me uncomfortable while in a relationship. Do guys go on cam sites? CAM, camera sites. Basically, I'm explaining to y'all. Basically, it's where the girl is on camera live and he is watching and interacting on her live. Is it normal, okay, to engage with this at work? I confronted him immediately, and he told me he does not go on these sites anymore because just corn sites, but the ads, still come up, which is true. But I look like that he's actually been clicking on these different girls' cam pages. But my main question is this just inevitable in this generation? Are most guys my age, which they're both 23, my age is borderline addicted to corn? How do guys get off on this in a relationship? The worst part about this for me is I also watch corn, but I don't get off on it like he does. I need a physical touch of a physical person. And it's been lacking in our relationship lately because of this. Thank you to anyone who is offering their insight. If you're looking for something, you will find it. Is the gist of these submissions. So you, aka F350, have found out what the theme of today has been. Yeah. Y'all, I had to look up what that chatterbait is, okay? And I'm saying it fast, and I'm saying whatever, because it is where it is two words put together. It is chat, and there's a word that has a mass. It has a part of that word is a ter, and the other part of that word is a bait. So basically, you are there watching someone live while they're engaging in self pleasure, and you are chatting and you are paying for them to do certain things that you are requesting. That is what that chat and bait is about. I had to go research. I didn't know there was a word for that. I really didn't. I thought people it was just live action cam stuff. That's what I thought. But there's a word for it. There's a whole subreddit for it too, y'all. Y'all, I went down that rabbit hole and the things I have seen. They need to have a discussion about that. This lady doesn't actually have a problem. She will be all right. Just Rhonda said, yo, this is a non-factor. You ain't got an issue. Her thing is, he's probably spending money. She didn't say it. He's spending the time at work looking at these things and engaging. I agree. These adverts can pop up just by clicking on them. Entirely a different thing. You don't have to click on them. He's clearly choosing to do that. I don't know if they are addicted younger. Don't know. He's brave enough to watch live during work. If you watch this during work, you get fired immediately. Well, I don't know what kind of work he doing, okay? But he working on it. Is he paying for this? Because if he is, it's a big problem. Either way, he really shouldn't be doing this. Yes, it is like OnlyFans. It is just like OnlyFans. He's addicted if he watches it during work and pays for it. She's looking for something to be upset about. She just told on herself. They've been lacking in the physical department lately and looking for reasons why instead of having a conversation with him. Right. How is his boss okay with this? I wouldn't be. Well, we don't know. He could be working nights. He could be working in a cubicle and it's on his phone and he got headphones in and he could be interacting. We don't know how the setup of his office. He certainly couldn't be in a factory. He certainly couldn't be driving the forklift and doing this. You know, it could be some downtime. But if he's doing it at work, is it maybe his lunch break? But you have to spend money. Y'all, in order to get sometimes the links to enter these chats, in order to get these links, you have to pay. So you're paying for admission like OnlyFans. You're either paying a subscription or you're paying to enter the room for your favorite chatter baby. Okay, y'all, there's a whole scene. I was not aware that there were words for. I know of it, but I didn't know we had a vocabulary. I learned a lot about the vocabulary of it all. What does his office smell like? Girl, what does the office smell like? How many napkins? Does he have calluses on his hand? Y'all, let me not go too far with it. Now, full disclosure, I have heard of, an office in the building where somebody was put out for engaging in those things because you know what? They were on the company's Wi-Fi. Dude, I hope you ain't on the company's Wi-Fi. Sometimes we look for things we don't have in our relationship because it means we don't have to face that something is missing. This is unhealthy. Right. I do agree with that. She's saying the physical is off. Well, young lady, you need to also, what are you doing to help move the physicality of the relationship where you want it to be? Okay. It'll be very embarrassing if people as would catch him watching it. Munira, if his headphones lose battery power and all of a sudden you are hearing it loud and clear, I would crack up. I will tell you right now, I am that coworker. I will crack up. I will be like, oh, and I would bust out laughing. His office is smelling like fried chicken and copper. Not lotion, Trey, not lotion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wonder how you can prevent someone from catching him in the act. Now, again, sometimes he may be on lunch in his car in the act. Okay, I'll give him that. Or maybe he's just, watching it and throwing contributions in to see where what he can get the person to do on screen. Have we discussed how we can best be intimate with each other so he doesn't need to do it anymore? Exactly. And she doesn't, because she did tell on herself saying she watches it too. So they're both feeling unfulfilled physically and they're going to a screen to try and help the relationship along. That doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't seem productive to me. See, to go to Africa, maybe it smells like baby oil. Okay, now baby oil does have a smell. If you don't know, there's a whole court case, and y'all understand why some of these stories I pull may reference something to the case, the very public case. I mean, say, have we discussed how to improve our intimacy so that this doesn't happen? Because either way, I think he should be doing this. I don't think he should be doing this. We can't stop. He should leave her. Well, if he cannot stop, maybe she should need to leave him. But first, I agree with you, Moondust Angel, that they need to have a conversation. The intimacy is heading downhill, and they really do need to talk. And how can we do this? Some people, I've heard, some people, what they see on screen, they try to emulate in their real life and have a moment themselves. So maybe you bring what you saw, honey, can we try this? And it may try and help the physicality, but keep your corn viewing involved in it. I'm just saying, use it as an instructional manual, maybe. But she watches at home, but he watches outside and pays for it. Yes, he is paying for the privilege of instructing the person on the screen as to what to do. If y'all go and y'all, this is those of you who are above 21. Again, these sites are supposed to check. If you are above 21, you can certainly check and see this genre, and even they advertise online. Okay. I had to, when I went down this rabbit hole, I had to be like, Mr. Elson, if this pops up on my phone, understand why. And if you're curious, let me know. I guess I just thought we were past the point of people believing that what you see on the screen is how life should actually be. True. For me, it's a screen. It's for entertainment purposes only. People on the screen are being directed. It's not like even it's coming natural to them. Somebody is giving them direction. Somebody is giving them instructions. It is not flowing naturally for them unless it's amateur stuff, which if people in a committed relationship decide to do. But even then, they got to, many of them, so I heard, decide to create the scene, plan what they're going to film, how they're going to film it. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is not natural or flowing. Tremack said, I hate this court case. I use baby oil instead of lotion. It works better for my skin. Now I feel weird using it. I'm upset. Now, no, Tremack. It is all in how and what you're using it for. Now, if you are using it on your skin to keep yourself moisturized, we're okay with that. Now, if you are filling up a kiddie pool, okay, if you have enough baby oil to fill a kiddie pool and having, other types of lubrication going on, then we're going to judge you just a little bit. We're going to judge you a little bit. But keep yourself moisturized, because then we judge you for being ashy. So you determine what you're going to do. You determine it. Also, just saying, these kinds of videos set unrealistic expectations for men that they can make men feel that they have to last hours in bed when no man realistically can do. Now, Moondust Angel, I know you don't mean it like that, but that could be a real slight to some men who can last, okay? It is a very small section of the population. I'm not saying it can last hours, but it may feel like hours. And if you feel like timing it, unlike, Bernie Mac said it takes 50 push-ups. Sometimes some men can last, not hours, but maybe an hour. But there's some men that have longevity, okay? For them, it's a marathon, not a sprint, if you understand what I'm saying. Yes, it's unrealistic to think a whole lot of men can. It's unrealistic, but if they can, certainly, I would advise, if you're over 18, enjoy the ride. I'm just saying, if I'm a man who watches it, I may feel like this is what I need to do. Hey, if the men are watching it too, they got to know they ain't the same size too, Moondust Angel. So that's the way I'm kind of pushing back on that. The men know they ain't the same size as the man starring in the videotapes. Okay, so the unrealistic expectation. Let's start with the tool belt, like we talked about in one of the earlier segments. So if your tool ain't the same as the guy, don't have the expectation that anybody gonna behave with you in the same manner. I hope he's mindful of the potential for the person he is viewing. going to view him unless he wants to be viewed or recorded. Um, yeah, sometimes if you have a camera built in as well, depending, some people can use this as a way to hack into your own system and see you on the other side, and could be using it to manipulate you as well. And some people, if they hack your system, they can certainly turn on your camera, and then all of a sudden you have a tape and somebody's probably, doing terrible things to ask you for them not to release it. You usually need some money for illegal substances or other assistance to do a marathon. Sometimes, yeah, I can see that. And, even if you see on the film a marathon, sometimes it's spliced and diced to make it seem like it's a marathon. It's not completely filmed, so I heard. It's not completely filmed in one long sequence. Sometimes when you see the change in camera frame, guess what? We may have taken a break and come back, but then they know how to film it and make it seem like this has lasted a very long time, because they know people want to watch for a very long time. It's not going to be very good for people if they just see a 2-minute session. Y'all, if y'all have any unsolicited advice for this young lady, my advice to her is you need to watch the budget, the money. I did not hear you talk about the money. How much is he paying to enter his admission? Then how much is he paying to get those folks to do what he wants them to do on their cam? Please check on that budget and the money. And if he's spending all that money, hey, he needs to stop. He needs to do his job before he gets fired and have no money for his hobby and entertainment. And y'all need to sit down and talk, as the chat said. Y'all need to talk. Y'all need to talk about how y'all can get your intimacy back on track. What if we do have the same tool? I can't get tips, but seriously, unhealthy expectations can rise when consuming too much XXX. Yes, too much XXX rated stuff. It could give, thing. But, if you have the same tool, every tool doesn't work the same. Okay. It depends on the handyman using said tool is how well it works. So if you want some training, certainly take the training. But again, don't have it be an unrealistic expectation when this has probably taken them all day to film, but it looks like it's been 3 hours on rotation. So y'all, please put your unsolicited advice in the comments below. This isn't as spicy as we usually do, but I certainly wanted to bring some of the case elements in and see how we do with this. But I thank you all so much. I will be back on Friday for LSAT Unscripted. There is a post. If there are any topics you want me to cover during LSAT Unscripted on Friday, please put it in the comment over there. We will start the show with that. I will have probably a couple hours to spend with you, and we can go anywhere. It's unscripted. It's whatever, I should say I'm unscripted, but it's wherever you want me to go. I'm handy like Overton Wakefield Jones. Yes, that's why I said handyman and tools the way I did. So if you know Living Single, you know Overton. But thank you so much, you guys. Please make sure you like, make sure you are subscribed. The channel is growing and I really do appreciate it. And I hope that I will see you on the next one. And I hope you will subscribe, because guess what? We're going to be here again. We're going to do unsolicited advice again on Sunday at 12:05 EST. And I really do appreciate you guys. Say wave. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here through my technical difficulties. And I will see you on the next one.